Wednesday, my dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Wednesday, right? Okay. It's Wednesday, my dude.
What?
Holy cow.
I never know.
How are you?
I am good. Before we start the show, well, we're starting the show, I would like to shout out to my beer since it's Earth. Oh, it's blue, so it's never mind entirely, but it's Flow by Almanac, and it uses carbon capture technology, the first beer to do so. So every purchase supports Carbon 180, this thing that takes carbon from the environment at scale.
All right. I like it. It's like you're planting trees every beer you drink.
Yeah, this is my carbon tax for my Nespresso machine.
Just
cancel it out.
I love it. I love it. Now you can build factories and jet off to Davos and all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Saul thinks you're bougie.
Bougie. I'm far from bougie. I got my Make Immigrants Make America Great. I got a camo hat on. How can I be bougie?
Yeah, you're very, very down to earth, working class. Love it. Well, welcome everybody. We are very excited to be here. Yes, happy Earth Day. Glad to see nobody talks about the climate at all anymore. And in fact, well, we can get into it, but like I'm listening to all these ex-generals like Larry Johnson on Glenn Deason. And I could do a whole show on Glenn Deason. He's very interesting. But anyway, and I like him a lot. I watch I watch pretty much every episode, but so he has Larry Johnson on talking about how Trump's fucked everything up with Iran and the world, and Scott Ritter, like all these, they're obviously like right wing but not Trump people, and they're all like, we've got to stop with all this green nonsense, all the green nonsense. And I don't know what Glenn Deason actually feels. He's very good at keeping, even when people say like kind of repulsive racist things, he doesn't comment and then pivots to part of a point. Like he's not there to argue with their, racism or bigotry or stupidity or, death to all of us with the climate crises. But it is just really fascinating that that's part of it. Like, we got to get rid of all this green stuff. It's like the George Galloway, anti-woke, anti-COVID, anti-climate.
It's amazing. And even the news that I see that covers, Earth Day.
Yeah.
And they try to put an environmental spin. They never bring up the military.
Ever.
I mean, it's the number one polluter in the world is the U.S. military. Like,
you remember Liz Warren, the green military?
So all these things around the fringe that we can do, like buy some beer that captures a little bit of oxygen, it's not doing shit.
Well, you have to drink more. You have to listen, your carbon footprint.
You're making a good point.
You have a personal responsibility, no straws, and drink more beer.
Done.
Yeah. I don't think my wine even attempts to make that assertion, but I can pretend. All right. Yes, we have destroyed the planet. It's pretty depressing. I know I talk about it all the time, but that was what first radicalized me when I had kids. Like, I was always, kind of a vote blue no matter who person, watching Al Gore silence all of the Congress people, mostly Black, who got up in 2000 to say, please fight for us. You are the rightful winner. We need you. And he was like, nope, sorry, I'm going to be the bigger guy and just concede. That definitely did. That was like halfway there. And then the climate, where I thought, we are so fucked. Nothing's changing. And now nobody even talks about it.
That's the wild part, is that we've gone from the thing that got you involved in activism is no longer on the Democratic Party platform. in any sincere sense. Like it's
Not-
just gone.
yeah. That's crazy.
Science hasn't changed on it. It's
like COVID.
It's actually sped up. It's worse than when you got involved.
Yeah. I mean, truly, it's like with COVID. They're just going to say, we're fine. What else are we going to do right now? We can't fix it. So we better make all the money we can make, go back to work and just forget about it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That reminds me, I pulled a clip, but I didn't upload it because it's too, I don't know, muddled. But Sam Altman compared his company blowing up to COVID. Did you see that? Like as popular as COVID. I don't know. It's just a mess.
Oh my God.
I'll show it sometime. But
yeah, we should, because I don't think we'll be able to get to too much AI today, but there's a lot of things maybe we can get to it tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. So hello, everybody. Please do make sure to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is my window like freezing and going slow?
It's a little laggy.
Yeah, it feels like it. Okay, I'll dip out when we do the cheers.
When we do our cheers. Okay. So, there are so many horrors going on in the world, obviously, that we, which we really never talk about. Unfortunately, it's just a lot to try to get out there. But certainly what's happening in Congo and Sudan, and we are also culpable in those devastating wars and destruction of their worlds, but not in as direct a way. And certainly there isn't the attempt by our government to silence people who are criticizing what's happening there in the same way. But we wanted to highlight these displaced artists in Sudan who have created an artist collective for them still to be able to create even in the midst of the despair.
في الأحلام يعني الحوش برا ده مليان أحلام شديدة، مليان طاقات كثيرة ومليان تجارب. أنا متأكد إنه أي زول من الناس اللي كانوا قاعدين هنا ممكن يعمل كتاب عديل عن الفترة القاعدة هنا. هو الناس فعلا الناس في أوقات صعبة، ده وقت صعب شديد كويس، في حرب، في نزوح. بعدين هي مدرسة اللي قاعدين فيها هم نازحين كويس، لكن اتعلمنا إنه ما في يعني ما في استسلام.
فأنا بالنسبة لي هو عبارة عن مؤسسة ثقافية مصغرة، بتلقى فيه التشكيلي وبتلقى فيه الدرامي وبتلقى فيه المخرج وبتلقى فيه اللي بيغني واللي بيعزف، فكل أطياف الفنون موجودة هنا، زي ما بيقولوا بشكل حالة كده استثنائية.
I mean, it's so beautiful. And that is, a form of resistance and hope and perseverance. Cheers to them. It's so hard to find that creative spark some days. And I can't even imagine what it's like to have to do it in the midst of being, ravaged by war and colonialism and everything. It's just truly horrifying.
It is. But it's also, the value of art. It shows that, this stuff, art matters, and it sends a message, and it it's humanity. And like this AI takeover is the opposite of art. So
it is anti-humanity for sure. And it's why, in every fascistic takeover, they come for the artists and, philosophers first, right? Like that is, that's where it starts, because they know that art is powerful. It's why there is, propaganda, or so much Israeli Hezbollah, or so much anti-Arab infiltration of our films and TV for decades, to sort of condition people so they know how powerful art can be, right?
Exactly. They know, think of through time, all the images, the Tiananmen Square tank image and the photographs, and the emotions. When you hit someone's emotions, you hit them different than the logic in your brain.
Yep.
And so you can change your thought process overnight if an emotion hits you strong enough. And that's not going to happen with AI. It's going to happen with art.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely not happening with AI. The only thing they're doing with AI, honestly, is making us all dumber and less cognitively able. Like, truly, that is what's happening. It's really horrifying. You are going to be horrified. Do you see what I did there with my transition? Because I didn't size the wheel screen before we entered. So it's probably going to look like a disaster. And it really upsets Pat when it doesn't line up with the edges. So
I'm OCD about the weirdest shit.
Let's see. Oh, wait. Give me a second.
I'm little sliver of martini glass is just
it's horrible. Wait, it's not letting me do it. It's not. Give me a second. I can't get down to the bottom here. Do not touch it while I am doing it, Pat. I am handling it. Don't even. How's that? A little better?
There we go. Good.
A little bit. Good enough. All right. Normally, this is handled earlier. Okay. There. No. Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. Here we go. Exactly.
Saving the planet over here.
Save it. One beer at a time. Okay, wait, one second. Look at that. Zizou, you got your wish.
Cannot go wrong with the cats disturbing people, which this one hits home a little bit.
Oh my god, he's on me. No, not the fucking guy, the cat. Shut up! You are a fox. Funky.
No!
Okay. Yeah, that's just it.
Son of a bitch. You gotta make me pull that. You realize what he's doing?
Hey, what's up? The whole bath. Oh my god.
I love that. That's awesome. I love when they take showers or baths with you. That's so cool. You have to introduce them to that like right at the way.
Yeah, Strike doesn't do that, but she waits for me in the morning every time. She knows I have my coffee, I have my routine. I go to the bathroom a couple minutes after the coffee, and she's in there waiting for me to turn the water on in the sink.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
Also, my computer literally has a bottle cap taped over the power button so that she can't step on it because she likes to step on my power button, just like the cat did in the video.
She knows exactly where it is.
Yes.
Or she just gets all of them.
She's a wrecker.
Yeah. That is very cute. Very cute. Okay. Aw, Strike. Hello.
The show goes on. Let's go.
The show goes on. There was a big article in The Atlantic just a few days ago about Kash Patel. Exclusive. Kash Patel's colleagues are alarmed by what they say is erratic behavior and excessive drinking. Sarah Fitzpatrick reports more than 24 people she spoke with described his management failures and conduct that could harm national security. I mean, it's always so funny because we've been watching that for the last, year and a half. But okay, I'm glad it's all
We're
in
just
one
catching
spot.
on.
Yeah.
Turns out they're a bunch of drunk frat boys, unqualified.
So drunk, by the way. So they talk about a couple different episodes. One of which is he thinks he possibly is about to get fired. So the article starts with him a couple Fridays ago, or one Friday, thinking he's locked out of his computer and having like a meltdown. Friday, April 10th, as FBI Director Kash Patel was preparing to leave work for the weekend, he struggled to log on to an internal computer system. He quickly became convinced that he had been locked out, and he panicked, frantically calling aides and allies to announce that he had been fired by the White House, according to 9 people familiar with his outreach. 2 of these people described his behavior as a freakout. Patel oversees an agency that employs roughly 38,000 people, including many who are trained to investigate and verify information that can be presented under oath in a court of law. News of his emotional outburst ricocheted through the bureau, prompting chatter among officials and, in some corners of the building, expressions of relief. The White House fielded calls from the bureau and from members of Congress asking who was now in charge of the FBI. So he is so unpopular and has such a horrific record. I mean, listen, when Charlie Kirk was killed, assassinated, first, I think they had to wait for the plane because there's a turnaround for the special FBI plane that I think it was for the Charlie Kirk. It might have been, it was for, I think, Charlie Kirk, because he had used it, I think, to jet his country singer girlfriend off to some concert or to meet up with her in Vegas or something. And even though he was back, the plane that he must use had to be repurposed or done whatever needs to happen in between flights. Then he gets there and won't deplane because he doesn't have the cool FBI jacket that all the agents are wearing. Then they find him one, and it's a female version, which upset him, and it didn't have like the Velcro badges that he wanted.
Yeah, the guy's a clown. He's so unqualified. I mean, his girlfriend he's batting over his league because she's a honeypot for Mossad, most likely. I'm just going to put that out
saying.
There. Just if you want to look at what the wrecking ball is doing things over here, I don't even know what.
I can hear it all the way down here in Los Angeles.
But talk about a guy like he's the epitome of imposter syndrome. He walks around every day like, I know I don't deserve this job. How do I have this job? How do I keep my job? God damn it. I better kiss Trump's ass somehow and do something publicly.
Yeah.
Which he
is
did.
Pretty much all he does. There are, okay, so let's just, the other part of this reporting that is crazy is, oh boy, I'm going to have to get really close to this. They said that the problems with his conduct go well beyond what has been previously known and include both conspicuous inebriation and unexplained absences. His behavior has often alarmed officials at the FBI and the Department of Justice, even as he won support from the White House for his eager participation in Trump's effort to turn federal law enforcement against the president's perceived political enemies. Several officials told me that Patel's drinking has become a recurring source of concern across the government. They said that he's known to drink to the point of obvious intoxication, in many cases at the private club Ned's in Washington, D.C., while in the presence of White House and other administration staff. He's also known to drink to excess in the Poodle Room in Las Vegas, where he frequently spends parts of his weekend. Early in his tenure, meetings and briefings had to be rescheduled for later in the day as a result of his alcohol-fueled nights, 6 current and former officials and others familiar with Patel's schedule told me. This is crazy. On multiple occasions in the past year, members of his security detail had difficulty waking Patel because he was seemingly intoxicated, according to information supplied to Justice Department and White House officials. A request for breaching equipment, normally used by SWAT and hostage rescue teams to quickly gain entry into buildings, was made last year because Patel had been unreachable behind locked doors, according to multiple people familiar with the request. So, first of all, of course, like incredibly inappropriate behavior from, a high-ranking member of the cabinet. Also, how much money that must have wasted and how humiliating, like so many different levels of crazy town.
And you got to add that, Jesus, cat, this cat is just wrecking my day tonight.
Loves you.
He's not the Department of Education or FBI. It's the most serious organization in our government as far as, the FBI is concerned, at least. Like of all the roles to have this guy in, this is the one where everyone beneath him takes it the most serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just embarrassing.
I mean, it's truly life or death. And like I think he was gone the weekend or off partying when Trump was about to start the war in Iran. They're all like, he's supposed to be part of everything to do with law enforcement and possible, attacks, but
domestic terrorists.
He's just completely absent. And by the way, I drink every night, as you all know. Nobody has ever not been able to get in touch with me or had to send a battering ram. That is next level. And especially when
Lila, speak for yourself.
That's crazy. I mean, truly, what? That's insane.
No. And if it happened once, you'd be out of your job if your job knew about it.
Yeah.
Right? One time, but you're the head of the fucking FBI and you could people just are going to roll with this. It's what happens in this administration.
I mean, if you don't even have, it's like when people don't have the consideration to lie well in your face, at least try to hide it. At least move over somewhere and do it in private. I don't know. It's crazy. Truly crazy. As we know, so already he has launched this is the different one.
Lawsuit.
Sorry. He's already started a lawsuit against the woman who wrote this article for The Atlantic. Sorry, what's her name? Sarah Fitzpatrick. And he accuses her at one point of lying about him being locked out of his computer, that never happened. And yet in the actual affidavit, it says there that she makes it sound like being locked out of the computer is what led to he right. Contradicts himself in the affidavit going after a reporter.
This is the most going nowhere lawsuit I've ever seen in my life, because the second you open this up to discovery, he's cooked. So it's just, they're going to delay the discovery process.
Right.
And as soon as it gets a smidge close to discovery, the case is going to be dropped.
Right. Which is why people are saying that possibly the New York Times and The Atlantic and that journalist aren't fighting it. Great. Let's bring it. Let's get to that discovery part where we get everybody's testimony.
That's where the real money is. If
you
want to write a book and you're an author for The Atlantic.
Yeah, exactly. But also this is about his girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, who's a country singer, honeypot. We don't know exactly why or how they met, but anyway, The FBI began investigating New York Times reporter Elizabeth Williamson earlier this year after she published a story about how Kash Patel was using FBI personnel to provide his girlfriend with government security and transportation. FBI agents interviewed Patel's girlfriend about Williamson, queried databases for info on the reporter, and recommended moving forward to determine whether the reporter broke federal stalking laws. So, this is why, obviously the government has gone after journalists, for decades. This isn't new, right? But it's really ramped up. We know that it ramped up the most under Obama, who prosecuted more journalists under the Espionage Act than all previous administrations combined, Obama. And then, you think about Julian Assange, and what they tried to do was make him, tarnish him with the ick factor. I don't know about the possible rape charges, but they came up with those, and then the women recanted. That can become very difficult because women can recant for many different reasons, and we don't know what the reality of any of that truly is. But that aside, they were trying to make him seem like not a real journalist before they came up with those charges, right?
Yeah. And look, a stalking law, like, you're a journalist.
Yeah,
That's your job. Stalk and get some information.
Yeah.
Not stalk. Like, stalking implies
Follow a story.
There's harm at the end of it,
Right.
physical harm or assault or reputation, but journalism against a politician is not going to be stalking.
That's not, totally different definition of stalking. As you say, like, stalking normally implies that there is a violent, ugly end to
There's a danger of some
that
sort.
process. Yeah, exactly. Also, famously, and listen, John Bolton absolutely should be in jail, but this was done at the behest of Trump. FBI raids home of former Trump national security advisor John Bolton as part of national security probe. And meanwhile, what's really interesting on the right side, we see, this is from the Independent, but the Epstein files, nothing's happened with that. Nobody's being prosecuted for raping children. Alligator Alcatraz still open in spite of the fact that it's been ordered to be closed with horrific conditions inside. OnlyFans owner paid $700 million in dividends ahead of company sale. Like, there are people he could be prosecuting or looking into in addition to John Bolton, who, again, great, like, get him off to The Hague for sure. But they are targeting people who are perceived as being enemies of Trump.
Yeah, they clearly have weaponized the DOJ. That's why I really thought Pam Bondi was going to last a long time.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm really shocked she's gone, to be honest. But
well, apparently he was mad that she didn't prosecute enough of his enemies.
That's wild that you can be such a
sycophant,
slave, crony, whatever. Like, Pam Bondi wasn't enough.
Didn't do enough.
Like, that's a narcissist for you right there.
Mm-hmm.
A true narcissist.
Yeah. And now he and Attorney General Todd Blanche are going to address Bitcoin 2026 conference on developer rights and federal policy. They're calling it a fireside chat. They will sit down for a fireside chat. Code is free speech, ending the war on Bitcoin. So they're really tackling the important issues and protecting the public. Crazy.
Yeah, I watched some of that whole thing. Not that thing, because I don't know. Was that the event that I was watching?
Oh, no,
I watched some of
the
the
press
interview.
conference. We have a clip from it. Just so embarrassing because they cannot handle a question from journalists at all. And of course, journalists have to ask about this. And you can see they're all just such cry bullies. They are so delicate. They cannot handle being pushed back on or confronted with the truth of their behavior at all. So
yeah, well, and they've learned from Trump that like there's some
Yeah.
value in just attacking them so they
Yep.
don't bring up a question again, because maybe we'll get the press corps out of the Pentagon. Maybe we'll do that. And they do it. They did
Yeah.
it. You
they
know?
did it.
I mean,
or we'll only have influencers or whatever, new media people.
so when you're in the media and your whole money is on getting access and you are denied access, that's their power against the media, that you're supposed to at least leverage more transparently than these guys, but they're not doing that well.
Also, you know, I keep going back to how feckless and cowardly and careerist all these journalists or whatever the people there who are actually asking the questions, you know, we saw how Trump was with the first in his first regime. Then we saw how Biden's administration treated journalists. They gave Sam Husseini a concussion, dragging him out, asking questions about a genocide, right? And lying right to everybody's faces and smirking and, you know, just being disgusting. And now we've got Trump back in again, calling, you know, women nasty. And there is no solidarity amongst that crew at all. Like if you have solidarity, especially when it comes to, you know, talking about a genocide, then when one person is silenced by whoever is up there, the Secretary of State or whoever it is, the next person should pick up that same question, right? Like that is what you would do. Or you could talk about the 300 journalists who have been slaughtered in Gaza, and now they're doing the same thing to journalists in Lebanon. Like, but nobody talks about that. We heard more about who was that dimwit from CNN who everybody was you know, who felt so sad the first Trump regime because Trump was mean to him. I think he wrote a whole book about it. That we heard about all the time. Because Trump is kind of rude to that guy, whatever. But not when you're targeted and slaughtered by the most moral democracy in the world, Israel. We don't hear anything. Shireen Abu Akleh was an American citizen. Biden did nothing. Just gross. Anyway, those fuckers. Anyway, so here he is trying to defend his reputation.
I'm on the job. I'm the first one in. I'm the last one out. I'm like an everyday American who loves his country, loves the sport of hockey, and champions my friends when they raise a gold medal and invite me in to celebrate. I've never been intoxicated on the job, and that is why we filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit. And any one of you that wants to participate, bring it on. I'll see you in court.
Explain the computer login issue. Just explain the computer login issue. You were not able to log into your lawsuit contends that you were not able to log into the system. What did you think after you were unable to log into the system?
Let's have a survey. How many of you people believe that's true? Hang on.
Did you communicate?
You
with
asked the question. Let me answer it.
No, let me.
No.
Did you communicate with anyone that you thought you were fired after you were unable to log into?
The problem with you and your report, don't cut me off. You asked the question.
Straightforward question.
The problem with you and your baseless reporting is that is an absolute lie. It was never said. It never happened. And I will serve in this administration as long as the president and the attorney general want me to do so. And every time you guys report false lies, every time you guys raise baseless questions, when we are here to talk about the Southern Poverty Law Center's $3 million decade-long scheme to fraudulently fleece Americans, you are off topic.
It's a simple, straightforward question. Did you talk to anybody about whether you thought you were fired?
The simple answer to your question is you are lying. And every time you do so, I've answered your question. It's simply as follows. I was never locked out of my systems. Anybody who says it,
the opposite. Your lawsuit
anyone that says the opposite is lying. Thank you.
That you filed says that directly.
Man, stop. You're being extraordinarily rude. And I know maybe that's part of your profession, but please just stop. If you ask a question, he can answer it. And then now you're interrupting me. Like just a little bit of respect, man. Just a tiny little bit. Try it sometime. Go ahead.
I hate these people so much. They talk to everybody like this who is doing his own job. Just disgusting.
They're so bad. And who's the main guy up there?
Todd Blanche. He's the one who's
Todd
replacing
Blanche,
Pam Bondi.
Yeah. So Todd Blanche during this interview says, I haven't read the complaint, and then says a million things in the complaint are a lie. Like he goes, so you can't have, you read the complaint. And if you didn't read the complaint and you're replacing Pam Bondi as the head of the DOJ, if it's not important to you, why are you having a press conference about it and you didn't read the complaint?
I mean, they're just total liars. And one of the things they were doing was announcing that the Southern Poverty Law Center is now under investigation and it has been indicted by a grand jury. Our indictment alleges SPLC secretly funneled more than $3 million in funds to members of white supremacist and extremist groups. So first of all, I mean, I'm sorry, but $3 million, like, that's adorable.
Yeah. And we're talking about money that went to KKK informants. I mean, the whole thing is just, I mean,
which is what the DOJ does all the time too, right? Like,
maybe there's some piece we don't know about, because yes, a grand jury did indict them. So there's something somewhere there, but you're clearly making a story up that doesn't exist, because there's no way this group gave money just to KKK folks. They were informants.
Right.
Like, I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, the people they go after it's just, I know we all know it, but it's always just so instructive how corrupt they are and how little they actually care about upholding the rule of law. And all you need to know is that if you're in with them, you're going to get away with everything. It's just amazing. Jamie Raskin is proposing, and I think he's been joined by other members of Congress, that Kash Patel submit to an alcohol abuse screening. For the sake of our own security, we need to know, for example, how many drinks containing alcohol do you have on a typical day when you are drinking? How often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected from you because of drinking? How often during the last year have you needed a first drink in the morning to get yourself going after a heavy drinking session? And how often during the last year have you been unable to remember what happened the night before because you'd been drinking? You know, that's when he says I'm the last one to leave and the first one there, it's like, because he passes out at his desk or whatever. Yeah, I mean,
that reminds me of a Earth Day story, real quick, to just diverge off. This is, and
Happy
it brings
Earth
up
Day.
alcohol. It's
Let's hear
personal.
it.
It's
Let's hear
me.
it. Yeah.
So Earth Day at UC Davis, where I went to school, they have Earth Day, and the whole campus gets taken over by hippies and all this Earth Day stuff, and it's great. And I partook with some Earth Day folks, and come Monday morning, I wake up in the middle of the day and classes have started and people with backpacks are stepping over me.
Where were you?
I passed out on the quad.
Oh my God.
For Earth Day. So watch out be careful what you partake in on Earth Day, because you never know.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually really hilarious, but that is crazy. And also, why can't I see the videos about what did I do? Keep telling a story.
So the third time I got arrested.
Where did I put oh, here. Okay. There's two. Okay. We have two different ones to choose from. So I don't know which one we're going to prefer, but this one is okay. I'm going to put this one up. There are two different Kash Patel Lego troll videos that we will be able to enjoy in just a second. Two different sounds. Two different sounds going on as they plug it all into AI. You know, I really go back and forth on these different videos, because there's a part of me that feels like, you know, they actually impart a lot of information. They actually really do. And they have a cool sound often, because they're probably like, you know, make it sound like Metallica, make it sound like Rihanna, you know, like that kind of stuff. This is taking forever. Sorry. But then I'm also like, I feel definitely very manipulated by the fact that it's fake.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't AI. I mean, you know, we don't want to promote any AI stuff.
Yeah.
But this is national news, and I mean, international news, really. So
I mean, it is. Sorry. Okay, so I've got the first one up here. It is called, excuse me, God, Bang Bang. Here we go.
They knock on your door. Bang, bang. They knock on. Yeah, Kash Patel name on the badge. Talk big boy now stuck in the act. Set burn it down, set clear fast. Now you run what you used to trash. Built that image, sold that fight. Camera hit, you lost that light. All that talk don't hold that weight. For real quick when it's high stakes. Bang, bang, better ram, hit the door. Drunk, you laid on the floor. Yeah. Bang, bang, hear the sound, break it down. Break down. You built it up just to lose it now.
Late night spin, can't stand straight. Age is not too damn late. Knock, 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 still no reply. Top seat silent. Wonder why. Bring the ram, break that frame. Top of power, still the same. Unreachable when it counts the most. Playing leader, acting ghost. Nashville lights, but the voice ain't there. Stage look loud, but the crowd don't care. Auto-tune dreams, no real tone. Dead crowd stay all on their phone. You fund the flights, push that show, but the streets stay flat. Don't bro, country act, but it don't feel right. More like dress up on the stage light.
You said you'd take it all down. Now you're lost in the sound. You said you stand your ground. Now you're falling right now.
USA ice, real one skate. Take real hits, play real fake. You on thin ice, lose that pace. Stop right out, can't hold your place.
Bang, bang, battering ram, hit the door.
Cash.
Drunk, drunk, you laid on the floor.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, hear the sound, break it down.
Back down.
Built it up, now we're breaking down. Bang, 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 bang. Echo the hall. You went up, now you fall.
I mean, they got a lot of information in there. They really did.
They got him pretty good, and they
Yeah.
put Trump in a weird spot of like, okay, is he going to react and fire Patel, which is it's been on the horizon for a month at least.
I know, but then knowing Trump, it's like he doesn't want to be
Stubbornly.
owned, right? So now he might be stubborn and just keep him. You never
Yeah.
know. But
And
then even like, yeah.
Was that JD Vance on the couch with Trump with the perm? Because it kind of looked like that meme of JD Vance where they have him with the long hair. And
I think so. They're so
good.
quick. They had the battering ram, like for the, the special equipment to barge in on him. They have his girlfriend singing not so well, like all of it. I mean, it's just really amazing how much they pack in there to the sounds of Rihanna, kind of. Do we want to see the other one?
More.
All right, more. If less is more. All right, we didn't start the fire.
Tires Patel! Crazy eyes! Let's go! Cash Patel! Crazy eyes! Let's go! Cash Patel, crazy eyes, Epstein files, cover up lies, Trump name redacted, Congress stonewalled. Swore you drop him, but you crawled. Charlie Kirk shot, wrong guy in cuffs, we got him. Oops, total bust. Olympics hockey locker room champ, FBI jet to Milan, you absolute tramp. My side honeypot, girlfriend trap, Alexis Wilkins, Israel clap back. Iran hacks your Gmail, pics go viral, family shots and hockey spiral. Drinking blackouts, paranoid freakouts. Am I fired? Meltdowns, what a leak out. Purging the pros, installing the bros, private jets for the shows. Everybody knows we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. But when you're done, Cash, the whole bureau's burning. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We didn't start the fire. No, we didn't start the fire, but Cash, you're the one who's torching the whole damn thing. Atlantic expose, drunken MIA, missed briefings, hangover day, paranoid rant, IT glitch freak. Wake me up, the bureau's weak. Five Eye Summit, diva demands, jet skis and soccer, ally slam, taxpayer right for your Nashville gig, swat for the singer. What a rig! Fake gold medal beer with the team. See you in Valhalla dream. Selfie signing, small man flex, loyalty dance, competence Rex Epstein still sealed, names concealed. Iran got your ghost, your covers peeled. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. We
I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think I like that one
Yeah.
better than the bang bang.
And is it me or are they just, I feel like they're ramping up. There's a whole bunch more that like, there's all the ones with the, what's the, Jesus Christ, I can't think of his name.
Oh, Hegseth? No.
Hegseth. There's a million Hegseth ones that just came out too. Like it's easy. They can put these out on a command and like have it in an hour ready to go.
I mean, yeah. And because, you know, it's all AI, they can easily get the good sound of it. Right. It's just, they're pretty effective because they are so packed with actual information. And then to just think like what a disgrace our country is, you know, when do you think the last time anyone in that cabinet read a book? Like the contempt for knowledge or study or contemplative behavior on any level is just absent. It's just all a disgusting show. I mean, they're just so gross.
I mean, if I'm being honest, in this administration, if you told someone you read a book, they'd call you gay or something.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, totally. It's so woke. Don't be so woke.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? And Lori is saying, Kash wrote a book. He did. You're totally right. He actually did.
Yeah,
but I mean,
wrote a book. We
Yeah,
know
well,
writing a book.
I know. Yeah, threw up on a book. Hey, just because I saw Jezen in the chat and we wanted to apologize because your super chat came up late on our radar at our last show. So thank you very much, but we were not able to thank you in person that on, what was it, Sunday. So thank you. And as long as we are on the super chats, we would like also to thank 2Fs. Oh my God, I needed that cat laugh. So that's going back. I know we should be better about maybe doing them when they pop up. But anyway, that's for the cute, crazy cat disturbances. Thank you. Thank you both. And cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Okay. Should we, I mean, there's definitely, there's more GOP stuff, but we should spin and then we can get back to it. Is that what you're saying? Was that your
let's do that. We'll get back to it.
Okay.
It's not going anywhere.
But look how nicely that aligns. It's gorgeous. I know. I know you have notes. I can see, I know there's a little bit that could be better. All right, one second.
For the environment.
Do it. Every sip counts. A little heavier. I went heavier on my pour. Okay, one second. I'm almost done with this
capturing
bottle,
so much CO2 here.
Don't worry, I've got another one standing by. There we go. Oh, look at that. Music and a drink or a hit. Perfect.
All right. This is Jess Woodland.
Every day them get up and look on TV, them read the newspaper, them want to say the truth. But them can't say the truth. Because the truth will not be found there. That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
While digesting Reader's Digest in the back of a dirty bookstore, a plastic flag with gum on the back fell out on the floor. Well, I picked it up and I ran outside. I slapped it on my windowsill. And if I could see old Betsy Ross, I'd tell her how good I feel. But your flag, the cow won't get you into heaven anymore. They're already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Now Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the reason's for. And your flag, the cow won't get you into heaven anymore. Yeah, your flag, the cow won't get you into heaven anymore.
I love her sound. I need I need closed captioning. What's the refrain? What's with the
Your flag won't get you into heaven anymore, pretty much.
Got it.
Is
I like
the core lick there.
Yeah. That's good. I like that. I like her, Jess Woodland. Is that the same one? I see we have two in there. I just want to make sure.
Oh, probably.
Okay. I'm
Probably
going to delete
uploaded
it just
twice or
because we're
something.
always a little full here. Okay, there's so much, with the Congress is back and they are really enjoying, trying to take RFK Jr. to task. What are they actually going to do? And also the new, we didn't pull anything on him yet, but we'll probably cover tomorrow. The person that Trump is has nominated to be the new head of the Fed over Jerome Powell, because they are going after Jerome Powell because the economy is so bad, but they are doing it under the guise of, he's wasting so much money on the new Fed Bureau building or the revamping of it.
As is building next to the White House and expand, none of it makes any sense. The arguments are just silly.
Yeah,
it's all to have a scapegoat for Trump being an absolute failure as a president.
I mean, he is really spiraling out. He is spiraling out. It is unhinged seeing the tweets that he writes or truths or whatever, and the fact that nobody is handling him. Apparently, he was so upset about the botched, they say it was a rescue mission for the downed helicopter pilots, a few weeks ago. It was like the second week of the invasion or attack on Iran. A lot of people have guessed that possibly they were trying to extricate the enriched uranium and it was completely botched. They lost hundreds of millions of dollars of military equipment. And Trump was so upset and having such a meltdown, they had to push him out of the Situation Room. Now people are leaking that he had, and this again, I don't know because we've not seen substantiated evidence. I don't know how we would, but I guess we need more people to discuss it publicly, that he wanted the nuclear codes this past weekend.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And I would agree in the sense that he's losing his mind somewhat, but it's not in a dimension component people put to Biden. But you'll see a lot of centrist Dems pretend it's the same as Biden somehow. And it's just the cranky old narcissism being exaggerated with his age.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And being finally told no and seeing failure,
Yeah. Truly failure. I think his failure has always resulted in being bailed out, right? How many bankruptcies has he had? But those never counted as failures because he got out of them. It didn't matter, right? And in this one, he cannot get out of it. And he really I think he thought he'd be able to. I think he thought it was, it was going to go much better in Iran. And also he could just say, well, we won and now we're out. But he can't even do that. He's really caught. We're all caught. He's going to continue on with his life one way or the other. He's destroyed it for everybody. But anyway, let's just go back to what's happening in Congress right now. Okay, this is interesting. So, RFK Jr., I know we talked about it a little bit on Sunday, has come under fire for a podcast that he did where he said that Black kids are all drugged up heavily and they don't read or, they're too on their devices and crime and blah, blah. We're going to send them off to farms where they'll be put to work and be reparented. So he's asked about this again today. I think it was Summer Lee who addressed it we showed it on Sunday. This is him being questioned by Senator Alsa Brooks.
You said every Black kid is now just standard, put on Adderall, on SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence, and those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented, to live in a community where there'll be no cell phones, no screens. You claimed, in fact, you went on to say, actually the whole transcript was even worse. You said that if you could, you would send, quote, every Black kid, again, your words, not mine, to go live on farms and work Is that your?
I would have to hear that recording because
Well, I have the recording.
I have no memory of saying anything like that.
Yeah, well, I actually have the recording that I can give to you, but it is absolutely what you said. And if you want me to play it, I can play it.
But if you ask me what my opinion is, I do not believe that every black kid should be reparented on a wellness farm or whatever, and I have never believed that.
Well, you said it, sir. I have the video here. In fact,
I'm
you're
telling you, I don't believe it. That's not my vision for our country.
Well, I'm
or for the
glad
black
because it was
community.
ignorant to say, it was dangerous, and it was irresponsible.
Well, if I said it, I apologize, but I'd have to see the transcript.
I love that he says, not every black kid.
Yeah,
I
like,
never, every.
even backing down on
Fake
it.
news. Yeah.
It's just like, so most then? I mean, half? What? Give me a number.
I don't
Give
believe
me
I
a
said
number.
it. I don't believe I said it. You don't think that as soon as he was confronted with this last week, which I'm sure he's been confronted with before, that he didn't right away remind himself that he said it?
I'm also, my big Peace Corps program. You know, my uncle started the Peace Corps. He started the space program. My space program, my Peace Corps program is going to be wellness farms, rehabilitation facilities that I'm going to start in rural areas all over the country where people, any American can go for free, any of them who is dependent on drugs, either legal drugs or illegal drugs, psychiatric drugs, which every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence. And those kids are going to have a chance to go somewhere and get reparented, to live in a community where there'll be no cell phones, no screens. You'll actually have to talk to people.
I mean, I guess he doesn't say every kid. He's right.
Yeah, but just the way he blanket puts that statement on black kids, like you wouldn't do that if you had some sort of sense about yourself. Like,
yeah.
This is inherent racism, like clearly.
Of course it is. And how about
we
saying
showed
like
it with COVID?
Yeah. Yeah. Because what he could also be talking about is the lead, the asbestos, the building of data centers or freeways always in, you know, near the poor black neighborhoods, the defunding of their schools, the like, you know, all of that. If you actually want to help a community, not we're going to parent them.
And the whole video choice of going over the farms made me think of picking cotton. Am I wrong here?
Yeah.
Because they're literally doing that in one of the states.
Yeah, Alabama. Yeah.
So
yeah, no,
the guy is not only not smart, he's got a drug-addled mind from years of drugs.
Yep.
He's had literal worm brains. I mean, I'm not saying that based on this weird statement. It's like, think of all the weird shit he's been involved with the roadkill incidents.
What is that?
It's just absolutely wacky shit with this guy. And he's in charge of our public health.
It's insane. They asked him about measles, you know, because now, you know, and
he lost his mind over the measles thing.
Lost his mind over the measles. People are more and more rejecting standard childhood vaccinations that have helped keep, you know, lethal disease at bay. And now they are having a resurgence, you know, measles, tuberculosis, polio, even. And they're, you know, the idea of herd immunity is that enough people are immunized that it helps protect those people who are more vulnerable or who can't be immunized. And when when that balance is, if there are not enough people who are vaccinated to create that herd immunity, that is when the viruses and the diseases can really start making some headway. We are now possibly, although probably the US will fuck it up anyway, but going to be inundated between the Olympics and the World Cup and, you know, anything where you have lots of people in a small amount of time coming into our country. Those are things that, you know, normally you feel like, oh, there's an outbreak of measles or somebody was diagnosed with measles, but we, like, most of the community is well prepared for this. We don't have that anymore in this country. So now having an influx of people who are possibly also not immunized.
Yeah.
But
have you considered how strong our immune systems are after fighting COVID for so long?
And then there's that.
We built up these amazing immune systems.
Yeah. Muscle
defense we've learned.
What was the
help.
thing that McKinsey coined? Immunity deficit. We need to get COVID more to build your immunity.
Yeah, we're super immune now.
Follow the science. Jez and we don't want to miss it, just in case. This is what you voted for: anti-Trump folk protest song, MAGA wake up call. Great song you heard today. Oh, good. Well, I will check that out. That's awesome. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you. All right. So, I mean, this is sort of funny because I don't even know what this Congresswoman Hayes means exactly, but she was chastising RFK. I mean, act like a Kennedy, but anyway.
You've also cut funding. You've also, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to exercise some restraint. You're a Kennedy. You know how oversight hearings work. And we don't want the second graders to think that your interruptions are rude, disrespectful, or impatient. So I'm going to have to ask you to just allow me to finish my questions.
Well, don't pretend you're
in my home state of Connecticut, where I was a school teacher.
I wish they could just cut his mic. I love when she talked to him like that. But, like, let's not act like Kennedys or something. Like, what? Yeah.
No, I hate this guy so much. He is the biggest useful idiot of the government to cut funding for all these departments. He gained his popularity with environmental, protection shit, bullshit. As on Earth Day, we learned that 59 fucking million miles of forest are going to be open now for logging and bullshit. Like, happy Earth Day.
Yeah.
But this guy, he's like, oh, well, we'll create camps. You don't think that somebody with the data centers and not the data centers, but the ICE detention centers and all that doesn't connect to this kind of message? And it starts getting you thinking about, like, oh, we could fix bad people at the centers.
Yep. Oh, 100%. And also, like, very early on in this regime, there was a database of people who have any kind of neurodivergency, or, they wanted to, basically, they want to have, like, one system that Palantir, Palantir is already doing this in the UK with their health system, with the NHS. They have, and I think they also actually had a government contract with COVID. They have all of our records, and they are just going to start deciding, like, who are the vulnerable people who have to be left by the wayside? Who are the people who need re-education or reparenting? I mean, this is so minor, but, like, I use a certain website to download all of the videos off of Twitter. And yesterday, out of the blue, when I pressed download, a pop-up came up and said, you are blocked from this website. And it had my IP address and my, like, all of it. And so then I tried it from a different, what's it called? Not Netscape, but browser, is that you said? Browser? Yeah. And it also, of course, because it's the same IP, but, like, there was no reasoning for it, but maybe they just don't like that, like, I keep looking up things about Hamas, or I keep looking up things about COVID, or, like, so it can be a very small, you were on an ADD drug, you had Adderall ever, like, all of that will just flag you.
It's all data. Everything we've ever done is in a file somewhere. And if someone wants to turn something against us, how many times have I looked up guillotine graphics just for our show, right?
That was my first ban.
But I mean, I'm not actually building one, but I actually have searched that a couple times to put a graphic up for our show, for example. But that kind of shit gets you, those are points. And then you add up to some other points the audio AI has found from our show.
Yeah.
And I am definitely a danger. I mean, I'm going to be on top of the list of fucking bad for society points.
I mean, on some level, we all are. They can turn us all into that just by protesting your government. You're anti-American, or protesting Israel. You're anti-American because Israel is in U.S. best interests or defense interests. You know what I mean? Like they will turn it all against us. So being able to have access to all of our data, which they do have, that we did not even have any input on, it's horrifying. And the fact that the party of opposition is the one that actually initially funded these ghouls makes me crazy.
I'm starting to think, though, like, look, what we want is some real fucking revolution. We want some real fucking revolt. And this AI stuff might be pushing us towards it faster than anything lately.
I think so, too.
Like, the data center people are getting wrecked. Every city that votes in the data centers, all those politicians that voted for it, because they're all doing it based on kickbacks and bribes and making their life easier. If not a bribe, it's like money to your campaign, re-election, or whatever. It's all bullshit. None of these people are doing it out of the goodwill or some benefit they see to their community. None of them. Not a single one of them.
And they do it over the objections of their community, if they even allow those objections to be heard. It is the opposite of democracy, and it's so clear what's happening.
Yeah, so people everywhere are fighting the fuck against these data centers, and that gives me some hope, you know.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. It is amazing to see. And it's also, I mean, it's obviously, it's bipartisan, just as every good policy is truly popular across the spectrum. And it's only the people, you know, in the halls of Congress who are paid to, you know, not honor what we all want.
And I think also the fact that no one hates the AI more than the younger people is relevant in this issue, because they are, you know, the next group of big segment of society to react. So like you don't have them on board on technology, which is a rarity. Like young people always are usually first adopters with technology, and they're like, they hate it more than I do. And I mean, I hate it, but like they hate it.
They hate it because, and they see
it's directly tied to their jobs. I mean, it's their future is they know it's not like a little cute meme thing. It's their future.
But yeah, and as you said, I mean, it is also really comforting to see how many communities across the country, red state, blue state, doesn't matter, see these data centers as destroying their water, their land, their sanity because of the crazy noise that's coming. And then, yes, in the best case scenario, it replaces all of our jobs and like does mass killing at a faster pace, right? Like that's the benefit. We're going to get rid of all those lousy workers who have things like sick days and OSHA concerns. And also we can just kill as many people as the AI indicates we should, as fast as possible. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing good about it. And I think to see somebody like Sam Altman be targeted is a true joy. I have to say, it's kind of excellent. All right. Do you want to show the Hegseth Pulp Fiction speech? Because we never did, but I don't have the Lego things. Or should we just move on to Iran, Israel, and the Democratic Party?
I think we can skip Hegseth. I'm fine with skipping
Done.
him.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So
I will suggest one. Oh, you were going to suggest spinning?
Well, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to suggest, since I picked some
like appropriate.
All billionaires are bad and they're not funny.
Do it.
Let's just, this is educational along the lines that we're talking about here.
All right.
This is about Palantir kill chain. It's educational, not funny.
You have created the system which you call kill chain.
Privately. Publicly, the lawyers have some innocuous something like tech for the amelioration of unwanted blah, blah, blah. For me, it's the kill chain.
Kill chain sounds good.
Kill chain isn't an original term created by Palantir. It's the more general military verbiage for the series of decisions leading from identifying a target to taking their life. Palantir's contract added their software and artificial intelligence to the kill chain.
It's quicker and better and safer and more violent.
It reduces the distance you have to the problem, but when you're able to take a step back and really see the actual application of these technologies, your whole world starts falling apart, which is something that, definitely happened to me.
Juan didn't leave Palantir entirely for ethical reasons. He just got another job. But the reason he eventually started speaking out against Palantir came after watching the Israeli invasion of Gaza following the October 7th attacks. Palantir has contracts with the Israeli Defense Forces. The exact nature of the contracts is opaque, intentionally, but there is evidence to suggest that Palantir's artificial intelligence tech was used for selecting targets in Gaza. CARP doesn't mind the controversy. In fact, it's part of the marketing.
We are very comfortable being unpopular.
Palantir works with health insurance companies to build AI for denials management to protect revenue.
Do you want Palantir's AI making decisions about what care is covered for you and your loved ones?
And what we do is we use what legal scholars call predicate-based research. So we would look at you, and then we would go out and say, oh, there's lots of different things in your life that may be indicative of someone involved in bad behavior.
Put simpler, they make software that makes it easier for their customers to collect and analyze data, and then act on that analysis. By 2013, 10 years after their founding, Palantir's client list included the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Marines, the Air Force, Special Operations Command, and more. Palantir already has contracts with the IRS, going through taxpayer data to save auditors time by finding the easiest audits to pursue. That's all of your financial information. And they have multiple contracts with the Department of Health and Human Services. HHS's core responsibility is Medicare and Medicaid. That's control over millions of Americans' health records and their access to healthcare.
As we kind of increasingly live in a simulated world, we move closer towards governance by algorithm. But more importantly, subject to decisions made by the people who are influencing these AI systems in order to fulfill an agenda for whatever their profit-seeking or control-seeking objectives are.
So when all of those government contracts with the CIA, the NSA, the FBI were finalized, that was in 2013. Just as a reminder, who was president in 2013? Yeah.
And most of these are no bid. I mean, that I'm pulling that number out of my ass, the most of it, but a lot of them are no bid contracts gifted to them because of their relationship with politicians they've bought.
Yep.
By donating millions of dollars to their campaign on both sides of the aisle. And it's really scary. Like the big project Kill Chain is supposed to be just the surveillance, targeting piece in Palantir. But if you look at their whole project, that's it. It's Kill Chain across the board. It's Kill Chain for us. It's Kill Chain for anyone who's going to resist the fucking future hellscape we're getting pushed right now.
That's right. Absolutely. And as Whitney Webb has talked about, like they wanted this to be a fully government endeavor, but they knew that it's illegal. So instead, it's a private endeavor the government funds and then contracts out with it. And that's a loophole so they can get around democratic oversight on some level, Jezen, thank you. NSPM 7. Yes, that is where we all are landing. And, the precursor to that was the list that came out like day one of Biden's regime, which was the domestic violent extremists, which were forest protectors, climate activists, anti-capitalists, Antifa, this is bipartisan, this project of labeling us all as extremists who have to be targeted. And so when the Southern Poverty Law Center says that white supremacism and white supremacist groups are the biggest domestic terrorist groups that we all should be paying attention to in the US, they get targeted for their $3 million over however many years payouts to informants, as if they are truly funding the KKK as punishment for focusing on white supremacists who are making up all the, administration's law enforcement regimens. Thank you.
Totally. And it almost does feel like the government going after the informers who got the KKK in trouble. Like,
yeah.
Like, you're really like, oh, you went after the KKK? Well, the government, this white new MAGA government's going to go after you.
That's right.
And, the whole case is probably like they found a couple people who exploited the money the government was giving them, just like some Medicare benefits in some center, like they did the whole Veritas expose on, and they're blowing up some story, like it's.
Wait, I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry. I was looking at something.
That's okay.
Tell me again. No, tell me. Say it again. Say it again. I'm going to stop.
Well, I'm just saying, so they did have a jury find that they indicted him, which is a public jury found some evidence, but we don't know what the case is. And the case indictment is probably just like, oh, they found 3 informants that milked a lot of money that were fraudulent somehow.
Right.
Just like the fraudulent childcare stuff that they were pushing with Veritas. That's what I was trying to say. And they're going to expand this to some big thing.
Yeah. I mean, and you really have to look, like, there's only so many hours in the day. So what's the priority? It's not to go after alligator Alcatraz or all the deaths that are happening in ICE facilities or the number of people who have no record at all who are being detained. I mean, truly, this is the Gaza doctrine. Like, seeing people who are being held in ICE detention centers for a year, and then they're just let go. I mean, if the lawsuits, but here's the thing, like, even if the lawsuits happen, it will be all of us paying it. It'll be tax money, just like the tariffs, now they're going to pay back all of the businesses that got hit by tariffs. The thing that the businesses did right away was jack up their prices. So the money that they get back, they've already gotten from consumers, and they're not going to be offloading that to us. They're just going to double dip as they always do. It's just such a.
Not only are they going to double dip and get paid back for the money that we paid, they keep the prices up high because they never roll back prices.
Yeah. No.
I mean, they roll back them a little, but the whole point is they're going to find a way to make more money out of every change in our situation, which is disaster capitalism, which is capitalism.
Capitalism is a disaster, and it leads to fascism. I mean, this is like, it's not just Trump. They always keep trying to be like, oh, if we get back, rid of the orange Cheeto, Mussolini, whatever the hell, like, this is still a system like this, yes, Epstein funded Peter Thiel heavily, like $40 million or something, but Obama really surged money into Silicon Valley and tech. And the second that Kamala lost to Trump, Jeffries ran to Silicon Valley to try to make amends with all of these billionaire tech bros, right? So it's not just Trump, obviously.
It's not just Trump. And look, even when you elect Democrats and they know they have to do some rolling back of some things, that's just it. It's going to be some of the things, like, there's 1,000 bad things that hurt us economically, and Democrats will successfully roll back 3 of them.
Yeah. Ticketmaster prices.
We got 3 back. We can't fight for everything. Sorry. Don't look for perfection. Kamala Buttigieg 2028.
I want to scream. I'm so angry. All right. Well, I guess let's just move on to the Democrats now.
Yeah, they're trying.
Let's see. Partisans' approval rating of 119th Congress 2025 to 2026. Wow. Republicans really took a dive. They're at 20% approval. That is abysmal. They have the Cheeto Mussolini. They have ICE arresting and shooting, Americans in the street and abusing people they detain with no reason. They continued Israel's genocide of Palestinians and helped expand it. going to now Lebanon and, of course, Iran. We have an economy in the tank. Everything sucks. We have racism on full display proudly. What could be worse than that? And it turns out it's the Democrats coming in at 3% approval rating. 3%. How hard do you have to suck ass to be lower approval rating than the Republicans?
It's absolutely amazing. You're not going to find a scenario on earth where the Republicans are so blatantly evil and, like licking their fingers as they do things every time they do things, and your party can't increase support. It's absolutely amazing.
It's so horrifying. I mean, they deserve everything. They're disgusting. But the fact that they have so little concern about the people they pretend to want to represent, like, that's truly what it is.
Yeah.
We know it. We all know.
It is.
Yeah. But like,
it is. But I think the stickiest issue on it is just simply Gaza and Israel. Like, everyone's seen it. Everyone knows it. Democrats haven't pivoted their position on that at all. And if you haven't done that, you haven't changed. Yeah. And so a normie Democrat who doesn't even follow this stuff closely is like, you're still kissing Israel's ass. Yeah. Like, we all know what's happening there. So you're not the fix.
And you can't speak out vociferously against an illegal war with Iran. You are being instructed by party leaders not to go after data centers and AI. And then, and this is such a kick in the ass that we all knew was coming, because it's happened now. What is this, like the third time that they've killed CalCare? Yeah. So we have a 2/3 Democratic majority, supermajority in California. And 2 days ago, whoops, there's Lucky. We are outraged. The California Assembly just killed CalCare, the bill that would guarantee health care for every Californian. Nurses condemn this failure by our elected leaders. We know health is a human right. Blah, 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 blah. One thing that I was encouraged by, and I wonder how this would be covered if it weren't happening in Los Angeles or California. I think this was in LA. Where did it go? Yeah, I think this was an LA channel. I have to look when we put it up. But the way they cover it actually was more on the side of people and against politicians who are captured by their corporate donors than I remember seeing in quite some time.
Nurses across California are outraged after Sacramento lawmakers blocked a major health care reform bill. The state assembly failed to advance AB 1900, or CalCare, which aimed to create a single-payer system. The California Nurses Association is calling the move a failure in leadership, pointing the finger directly at Democrats who hold a supermajority in the legislature. Despite support from over 300 organizations and 2/3 of voters, nurses accuse Democratic lawmakers of caving to corporate interests.
I mean, that's better framing than they normally come up with, I think. Right?
Yeah. But that should be I
know. It's so, I'm so
how is
happy
it not
for Trump. Yeah.
No, good on them to actually say that. But like, that's every time there's a ballot initiative or, this bill before, there's no pressure on them other than from us, all of us activists. There's no media coverage of this stuff.
Yep.
And now we're getting told the same Democratic Party that fucking floundered and we're on the verge of getting a Republican governor in a state where we're all Democrats, or left of Democrats mostly. I don't know. It's just amazing. So what I was going to say, we're getting pushed now. The next Democratic consolidation for governor, it was Eric Swalwell, sexual assault, rapey guy who everybody knew about. They're like, the whole party's consolidating now around Eric Swalwell. And now they're telling us they're all consolidating. They're all consolidating around Baserica, who killed Medicare for all. So they're telling us this is the guy. We're all the Democrats are coming together to back Becerra now. Is the myth.
Javier Becerra? Is that yeah?
Yeah. Becerra. Not
Yeah.
Becerra.
Yeah. I mean, I just I always like to remind people, and yeah, blah blah. I know, past Bernie, all that kind of stuff. But on Super Tuesday, in 2020, after Bernie had won the first 3 states, nobody has ever done that in the Democratic Party who has not then gone on to win the nomination. Joe Biden won a small red state of South Carolina, but then got $150 million of earned media coverage about how, well, that's it, because, he obviously, Bernie's not popular with
black people everywhere.
Yep. And then on Super Tuesday, Bernie won 50 of the 52 districts of California, the largest, most diverse state in the country. Crickets. So that's where we are.
The whole narrative. The whole narrative was shaped by them.
Fucking assholes.
But anywhere in the country, if you're looking at hey, a couple more Democrats could help, look to California. A couple more Democrats can't help because we had a supermajority for almost the last 30 years or whatever, almost the whole time, bouncing around a little bit.
Need one more. We just need one more.
So no, it's not one more. It's that they control everything and they push this myth that they're powerless when they have power, or whatever it is to stop the good thing. They're going to find the narrative and push it with the media, working hand in hand with them.
All right, I'm calling an audible.
Do it
for this young man, Spencer Earl.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No, God, please, no, no.
Women's right to choose is so important, and we're trying to legislate that. But it's a tough and difficult process.
I just passed the Fuck You Die Act. It's an act where you get fucked and die. Also, there's a new tax on everything.
We can't afford a single-payer system. We just can't. It's just too much money, and we have...
If you join my new personal army, you get paid $100,000 each and $50,000 sign-on bonus, and you get to kidnap people, and you can kill people, and you get absolute resources and immunity. And also, here's $20 billion to Argentina.
Guys, I know there's literal children at the southern border that are in cages right now, and I know I promised to free them, but it's a long and complicated process, and I'm trying to figure it out, and I don't have as much power as you think I do.
I just pardoned every person that tried to overthrow the government on January 6th, and like that. I just did that.
Guys, I'm just a widow baby. I can't do anything. I can't pass anything. I can't do anything. I'm just a little baby.
I can do literally anything. I can do literally anything.
$1 trillion to Israel.
$1 trillion to Israel.
I mean,
on the nose. Goddamn.
So, in that regard, so this super PAC is not Bernie's. It's people who left after Bernie left, started this PAC. They just endorsed Tom Steyer for California governor. He's been a partner in the movement, said Executive Director Joseph Javargazi. I said that wrong. Most billionaires use their wealth and privilege to lock in the status quo. Tom is doing the opposite. So it's not a Bernie endorsement. I'm just saying that he might still end up endorsing him. And unfortunately, listen, I will not vote for a billionaire who earned his money on private prisons and I think also weapons manufacturers. But of the whole group, he is the best. And that is really telling.
The sad part is I'm agreeing with you here. I wish we could have a fight over this a little bit, but
we're fucked.
Okay, I got a lot to say on top. First off, hedge funds is where he made most of his money.
Awesome.
Hedge funds, right? So
Classy. Great.
Very middle class-ish, like, you know, worked his way up through the farms or something and hedge funds. No, he just took over companies, sold them, sold everything. That's
dismantled them.
Largely what he did, right? So the way he made his money was evil, and we all agree that that's an evil process.
Yep.
To counter that, I do sincerely believe he has guilt in all of that somehow.
Right.
I believe that piece to him.
Yep.
And I do think he has the right issues in mind and honestly cares about people.
I mean, he actually endorsed Bernie after he dropped out in 2020. Sorry.
Yeah, but then that was A and that was B, but then here's C.
Yeah.
Okay, give half your fucking money away, you cunt.
Yeah.
Like you stole
Finance
this.
it
You could
yourself.
fund a program instead of
Yep.
just running.
Yep.
Like you could just fucking do things with that kind of money that changed the
Or do
world in
both.
California.
Like he could actually do both, possibly, right? Because the thing is like, you know, what's his fucker's name? Bill Gates. He's always like, oh, I'm giving away half my money. And he's only gained like exponentially more since he said he was giving away all of his money, because it's always like some kind of fucking scam, right? Where it's a tax write-off or it's to his own foundation or whatever. But yes, fund all the clinics.
Your campaign should be, look, I believe in this issue, so I just gave them $2 billion, or $400 million. Oh, I believe in this, so I just gave them another $500 million. That should be your campaign. If your campaign doesn't list the money from your own fortune you gave them, I'm not going to vote for you.
Yep.
Get rid of your money for these fucking issues you care about. And to be Bernie's people and back a billionaire ever on any front is ridiculous.
Okay. So I have a question that I know I'm going to get shit for, of course. You know, I really, sorry, I have one like random stray hair. Obviously Butch Ware's policies are our policies. And there's, you know, a chance if like all the infighting and, you know, another person, Betty Yee, just dropped out also. You know, she was nowhere near at the level that Swalwell was in support from the Democratic establishment. But like, who knows? Like more of these things could come out. Oh, look, I'm seeing pop-up notifications from Becerra, whatever. But the truth is right now, like, should our revolution or a serious, like if you were a serious lefty super PAC or whatever, like come out for Butch Ware? Is that the way to go? Is just to say we're taking our bag of whatever we have and any influence we have, we are leaving the Democratic Party and we are now becoming Green Party and we will endorse the Green Party candidate. Like, is that the way to go? I think it probably is. Oh, you're muted.
I think the only solution to fixing things electorally is for that to happen, the dirty break with the Democratic Party at some point. Do I know if Butch Ware's the guy? I don't know.
You know, I wish.
Honestly, like I love everything he says, and I've said it a million times, but I don't. The rap diss track is not the way you win California voters over.
Yeah,
it's an ego thing, and maybe you did it thinking it is, and it's some strategy to break through because maybe this will get attention, even if it's negative, and people will hear my name.
Yeah,
I don't know, but ultimately you have to win, and once you put out a rap diss track, you're not going to win because they're going to use that as you being not professional enough to ever win the state. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I know like,
but he's not on the ballot, by the way, just so people know, to be clear, he's now officially not on the ballot unless they win some suit or something,
because
they missed some filing stuff. And he says he was misinformed about the filing, which we know is going to be the modus operandi of the controller or whoever is trying to get a third party on the ballot. But
really, really, really bad. Okay, so this isn't exactly Dem stuff, but it's Dem adjacent-ish. It's all the Hassan Piker, Israel, J Street part of the Democratic Party, which, you know, when we started the segment, is the moral issue of my lifetime. And I think it is really, you know, resonating with the electorate that in the midst of watching this genocide for 2.5 years and then getting into war with Iran on Israel's behalf, and what Israel is now doing in the West Bank and Lebanon, it, like, the fact that Democratic candidates or members of Congress cannot just full-throatedly say no more money at all to Israel. We need to do what we did, BDS, and we need to do to Israel what we did to South Africa to change their whole system. It needs to be, Israel cannot survive as it is now. It will destroy even more lives than they have already destroyed, right? If you can't say that, if you always have to couch it in, well, October 7th or Hamas is terrorists, and that, like, you've lost me. I don't want to hear about October 7th anymore. I could not give a fuck anymore about anything from that day. I don't want to hear about any of it. A third of the people on October 7th were active IDF troop members. So to say 1,200 civilians were killed that day is a lie. And that's not even getting into, you know, the IDF killing their own people with the Hannibal Directive, right? Like, just even forget that.
And look,
yeah.
And look, I just think if you can't vote to just not take the money, you know, like,
or condemnation, right? Like they went against the condemnation.
Well, yeah, that was the recent vote. But if the issue matters, right? If you're going to support Israel regardless of the money at all, we'll show that the money's not there, and then say I'm not taking the money so that I can vote solely based on my beliefs,
right?
And I'm still going to vote for Israel or something, you know, whatever. But like, that's they can't do that. They can't. There's no angle any of these Democrats are taking other than, you know, pretend the war was mismanaged by Netanyahu and maybe he overstepped a little with killing all those people. You know, maybe just a little bit of that.
How many people would be enough? I wonder. How many Palestinians had to die to fill that void of bloodlust, right? Like, how many was enough? Yeah. And then take that and look at everything Palestinians have had to deal with for 80 years before October 7th. How much payback do they get? And what about Iranians who just saw 168 children be slaughtered? What's their payback? Like, I think three children were killed. I mean, it's horrible. Like, nobody should be just slaughtered.
Yeah.
But like, three children were killed by Hamas, possibly on October 7th, or killed. So that has justified the last 2.5 years in the minds of all these crazy genocide apologists. But so then what does that justify for the future, that Palestinians get to take their revenge out on Israelis and Americans?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, logically, it's all a mess. It's just, you know,
It's
that's
horrifying.
why the emotional connection is the whole game. Connect the emotion to what happened on that one day to these people and ignore all the other things that happen. But I think where Democrats have really fucked up is that I'm not saying we would have forgotten Palestine or what's happening there. I don't think the U.S. was ever going to tune that out entirely. But I think if Israel and the U.S. was not continuing the same, like if there was sort of it stopped on this date thing, you could actually mark somewhat, even if it was false and Israel continued to kill Palestinians, you could say, well, bad old stuff, Democrats in the past, or we have new knowledge. We know Netanyahu is this way, but we're seeing it all just continue and continue. And And to see in the face of that they won't even step up and have the balls to say, I'm going to cut a little bit of funding or put some caveats to it, or, it just, nobody's buying anything they do now. I mean, I think it's just they're
yeah. Well, so okay. So here is, because they're all on Hassan Piker. Here is Hassan Piker talking to one of the pod boys, John Favreau, about the lesser evil.
So my question is, when you say Hamas is 1,000 times better, do you actually mean that? Or is that a rhetorical move or like a solidarity signal? Like what?
I mean, it's all of the above. I do mean it. I think it's a rhetorical move because it frustrates a lot of people. I've also said I'm a harm reduction voter. I'm a lesser evil voter, and therefore I would vote for Hamas over Israel every single time.
I mean, I love that. Like, I'm ready to, I don't even know anything about him, but like, thank you. Good. Yeah, I agree. They are actually a resistance movement fighting for liberation of their people. Israel is a Nazi genocidal apartheid country, right? So like that's the difference.
Make the other person prove the point that Israel hasn't killed more civilians. Israel hasn't targeted more kids. Israel hasn't done on any level.
Yeah.
You're saying Israel uses children as human shields. Well, prove it. I got my evidence. Let's see yours.
Exactly.
Let's see yours.
Exactly. So so this is because the reason that Hassan Piker has become such a focal point on CNN and what's it called, corporate media, legacy media, is because Abdul El Sayed in Michigan, who's running for the Senate against two other people, one of whom is just a proud Zionist, Haley Stevens, who's a congresswoman, and also Mallory McMorrow, who was supposed to be the liberal version of that. But Abdul El Sayed is the true left version of, he calls it a genocide. He wants Medicare for all. He's against data centers and AI, all that kind of stuff. He was doing rallies with Hassan Piker. So the way third way corporate right-wing Democrats were trying to bring him down was to tarnish Hassan Piker as a Hamas supporter. And CNN has done its best to keep going with that message.
El Sayed said that Hamas and Israel are the same. For the record, Hamas is designated as a terror organization by the U.S., EU, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and others.
Let me just tell you, because I did the math.
I was going to say, can we do the list on how many?
I got. So first of all, the UN does not designate Hamas as a terrorist organization, but here are the countries that designate Hamas as a terror organization: Australia, Canada, Israel, Japan, Paraguay, United Kingdom, United States, and the 27 countries of the EU. Okay, so that's 27, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34 countries out of 195 countries worldwide. That's 83% of countries in the whole world do not consider Hamas to be a terrorist organization, including the United Nations.
And am I wrong? We did not either before this war began.
We've gone back and forth. Yeah, we had changed it. Yep, exactly. Right. We considered Nelson Mandela to be a terrorist, right? So, and also he doesn't say that Israel's the same as Hamas. Like that's actually slander. He says that Israel is worse than Hamas. Like, get it right, Dana Bash. No, Israel is worse than Hamas.
They so clearly are. Like, I will never back down from that. Come on.
I would never will either.
And all of this is just going to get him elected. Saeed is going to get elected. He's going to win because of this bullshit. Yeah. And I hope it puts it in all their faces that no matter what the party says, even within the party, if you have a strong enough message and you don't kowtow to backing down, people want to hear the Democratic Party sucks. That should be your opening message in a Democratic Party debate.
Yep.
They're wrong on the issues. I agree with you on the issues. Do you want the Democratic Party to be against all these things that you're for?
Yep. And again, like they Barbara Streisand affected him into becoming so popular that he broke into the top 5 Act Blue donation accounts after they started, CNN started piling on Hassan Piker. So they do not have their finger on the pulse. They're all just genocidal apologists. That's what they are.
They have their finger on the pulse, but they're shitting themselves because nothing they're working is talking us out of supporting fucking Palestine and wanting healthcare and thinking AI centers suck and wanting less surveillance and seeing the future that you're fucking selling us.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's all exposed. So the only thing they can do is put us all on lists and send us off to detention camps, which is the plan. That's the only plan they have. This is so, a lot of people have made hay about J Street and how they are the liberal Zionists and they do not support funding even defensive weapons. That's a whole big thing. And Adam Johnson, who's just come out with a book I just ordered, I'm very excited, How to Sell a Genocide. And it's a real condemnation of liberal media, legacy media, because again, just like what we always talk about on the show, like we know Republicans and the right, like the pronounced self-avowed right, are evil. But when liberals pretend that they are the party of opposition, they're taking up the space of real opposition. And so when we're punching right and liberals are just in the way, right? Like that's where they are. But so he does a great, like his analysis is so fantastic because it's all based on like hard fact data. Like how many times when an Israeli child was killed, was it mentioned in the New York Times versus when, 30 Palestinian children were killed. First, they weren't even called children. They were called minors or young women, right? Like they did it like that. There was like a sleight of hand. But also they don't use the word massacre. They don't call them children. There's no outrage, or they always have to mention October 7th every time they talk about a Palestinian being killed, or they don't mention who, so he really quantifies it all very sort of logically and data oriented. But he also has been taking Democrats to task on this, and Ro Khanna on this, block the bomb bill that didn't pass, of course, but because it's a workaround in coordination with J Street where they're still going to fund Israel. It's not that they're saying we need sanctions on Israel. They're still going to fund Israel, but then allow them to use that money however they want. So they're still going to be able to get around it and still be able to use money for their weapon systems. So this is the head of J Street, Elon Goldenberg, talking with Tommy Vietor, we're going to do it again, another pod boy. But it is interesting to see how they both turn a little bit on each other.
So look, I'm not going to try to speak for Hassan or anybody else, frankly, but let me just offer what I think kind of the pushback to your argument would be, which is not that I think anyone was saying Israel was uniquely evil. It was just sort of whether or not there's a supremacy ideology in the sort of the founding documents. I think what he would say is Israel was founded after the mass displacement of, I think, 700,000 Palestinians. Since 1967, Israel has occupied the West Bank and Gaza, and there's been, groups of people living under permanent occupation. And the reality today is that it seems like Israel has chosen to be a Jewish state and not a democratic state. And so I guess it's fine to debate what like David Ben-Gurion and others had in mind in the 1940s. I'm not an expert on this stuff. I would never pretend to be, but I think people would just say, look, the reality on the ground is that it's this much darker version of whatever that intention was of permanent occupation. And then some would argue apartheid, or at least very clear instances where there are different rules for Jews and Palestinians. That we can unpack that as well. What would you say to that?
Sure. Well, I'd say I don't disagree with that, right? But the answer is not Hamas, right? you have those who are from the beginning inside the Democratic Party have said, here's the AIPAC position. We're going to support Israel no matter what. And then there's where Hassan is, which is to argue that Israel is this kind of uniquely evil or deeply, deeply problematic state. So I'm not arguing for that, the liberal Zionist old position of let Israel do whatever it wants and let's just work this out, right? We can use leverage. We do have leverage. And at the same time, I also don't think the answer is, well, we should support Hamas or we should be. Okay.
No one's saying we support Hamas.
Not.
Let's just throw, let's like, I feel like it's a straw man that we're leaning on here to make a silly argument. Okay. Fuck Hamas.
I will say once again how grateful I am for Norm Finkelstein's November 8th pronouncement that he does not condemn Hamas any more than he condemns the Warsaw Ghetto Revolt or Nat Turner's slave rebellions. Like, we people who consider themselves liberals should never take issue with the way subjugated, oppressed, dominated, genocided people fight for their freedom. We didn't do it. The World Jewish Congress just put out a whole photojournal essay on the Warsaw Ghetto Revolt. Great. Yes, of course, that's fantastic. But when Hamas does it, there were civilians who were killed during the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising or the Nat Turner slave revolt, which was absolutely, there were atrocities committed. But you're going to start doing fine points with people who are being subjugated as slaves or being shipped off to death camps? No. And if you do that, you are my enemy. That's just it. Fuck off.
Yeah, you can't just say there's the horrors of war when you do it. That's just the reality of war. And especially when you're the oppressed people. If I have to blow up a wing of this jail to get out of this jail, yes.
Being held hostage.
But I love that this guy, that this shitbag pod save guy is saying, fuck that Hamas argument though.
Yeah.
That part I appreciate because they may have come around to the position somewhat. That might be part of it. But if nothing else, if it's bullshit, at least he knows how unpopular supporting Israel is. And they all understand that. Yeah. They may try to fucking pod-splain us to fucking believing otherwise, but they know their viewers don't want to hear their fucking pro-Israel bullshit.
100%. Hamas was made up of mostly orphans who were made orphans by Israel's atrocities against Palestinians. What are people supposed to do? How exactly? I agree with everything you're saying. This is such the lib thing, right? I agree with everything you're saying, just not the way you say it. How are you going to fight for your liberation? Not like that. Non-violently, folks.
And I'm curious to hear more of that interview because I want to hear what he said after that, where he went with the whole.
Good. I have a little more.
Oh, I did not know that.
We have a little more.
I want to hear your explanation of you should fight, but vote, get out and vote or something what.
Okay, this is where I actually think Tommy Vitor left his body and was just I can't even deal with this bullshit because liberal Zionism is like liberal capitalism. It's the Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris wing of a far right ideology. That's what it is. So
what J Street advocates for and what we do when we talk to Israelis and Palestinians on the ground is there is I think, still a strong minority who wants to work towards that alternative vision, both on the Israeli and the Palestinian side. We don't call it a two-state solution. We've started calling it a 23-state solution because we don't think it's just going to be a deal that gets a new Palestinian state and Israel living side by side. We think it needs to be part of a regional integration that actually has Israel at peace with all of its neighbors, which creates a lot of incentives for the Israelis. And part of that is a new Palestinian state. Now, when you do polling like that and you present Israelis with, if the president of the United States were to come to Israel and say, here's a plan, end all the wars. This was done during the war in Gaza. We're going to end the war in Gaza. We're going to get the hostages out. We're going to pursue a plan that ultimately ends with Israel at peace with all of its neighbors. And as part of that, you can have a Palestinian state. Like that kind of proposal still gets 60% in Israel.
Isn't that a lot of hurdles to set up before the Palestinians are just like, I just want to like live in peace and with self-determination? Suddenly, like Israel has to make peace with every single neighbor before they can have that opportunity?
No, it's actually not that complicated. You just do both processes at the same time. And at the end of the day, it's really about peace with Saudi Arabia and everybody else goes along.
Hasn't that been pretty complicated though?
It is complicated.
So wait, what's the solution? Palestinians have to wait until Israel can make peace with all the neighbors. It's either bombing or, whatever, hurdles.
Yeah.
And it's all a stalling tactic, just like the two-state solution, stalling tactic.
Yeah. Slavery is wrong, but you got to wait until we have AI to fix things or something. Like just wait a few decades. And I mean, he's sort of alluding to like, okay, you're going to have a Palestinian state also that's like a voting bloc within this larger thing, right? Am I wrong on that?
I mean, I don't even know exactly what he's saying. Like, we need to wait for everybody to make peace, for Palestinians to have self-determination and liberation. What are you talking about? What, like, their ability to be free has to depend on this psychotic, lunatic, rogue state to get along with the 23 countries around. Like, how is that? Like, and that's the liberal, that's J Street. Yeah. Just to put a button on the sort of media aspect of it, this is a little bit different because it's about Elise Stefanik on with Jake Tapper. And Tapper is calling her and her fellow Republicans out on not condemning the genocidal language of Trump when he said about Iran, we're going to just bomb your whole civilization back to the Stone Ages, right? So he's trying to act like he has some moral rectitude in this situation, but you just got to listen to what he inserts in there about Mahmoud Khalil.
And let's talk about the Iranians have killed tens of thousands of their own people.
Yeah,
so if
horrifying.
you want to prop up the Iranian terrorist regime, that's on you. The president has been very effective in calling out the Iranian terrorist regime.
Got it.
Go ahead.
No, I'm not
defending
anything.
Here.
I'm not defending anything. I'm saying it's all bad, calling for genocide, calling for wiping out civilizations, whether it's some knucklehead on a college campus or Mahmoud Khalil or this person or that person or President Trump. All of it's bad. Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, thank you so much.
President Trump was not calling for genocide. Shame on CNN for saying that.
I read the quote. Thank you so much. Up next, a high-stakes vote this weekend.
So CNN, Jake Tapper, first of all, where's the proof of the tens of thousands? Like some Shahist, expat who wants Pahlavi to be the leader made that number up. It's never been confirmed by anyone. We do know that Mossad was there giving weapons to, who knows who in the protesting group. And there were 3,000, 4,000 people, which is horrific, people killed. But like, there's the tens of thousands, it's like the beheaded babies and the rapes on October 7th. They're just like, that's just now inserted every time. October 7th, rape, mass rape, babies beheaded in ovens, whatever. Yeah. And so he's repeating that. He's a news guy. And then Mahmoud Khalil is like a proponent of genocide. What?
And he threw all the protesters under the bus.
Yeah.
Like we all want to genocide Israel. We don't want to genocide Israel. Like that part of like equating it was just ridiculous. Like we don't want Israel as a state governing body to exist in the way that it does. That doesn't mean we would want to fucking do what has been done to Palestine to Israel per se. I mean, that's a different.
The fact that people like Jake Tapper, who makes tens of millions of dollars a year, and Dana Bash, and have their own shows on CNN, which is the most trusted network, whatever. I know for boomers, but still, like, it's the one cable news show that's sort of supposed to be the,
it's the most ubiquitous sort of
right?
neutral, but left leaning, but now right leaning, but not MAGA leaning, but right. Corporate media, basically. Corporate,
which is right wing, just by definition, right? Is gonna, like, just as a reminder again, Mahmoud Khalil was chosen by the Columbia administration to be the negotiator between the student protesters and the administration because he was so even-handed and trying to find a solution, right? Like, he was the one they chose to be the point person. And they're like, here's Jake Tapper, and then hauled off in the middle of the night, taken to another state for 9 months, missed the birth of his first child. And like, Jake Tapper is smearing him as a genocidal maniac.
Yeah, and the speed that he grabbed all those facts shows that he does believe a lot of that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
What
he
do you
didn't.
mean? He
Tapper.
absolutely believes it. No,
Yeah,
but why
yeah.
are you saying, like, but that's his whole
No,
deal.
but so often I think a lot of it is just them knowing their role and whatnot. But you could see in that moment that
he's a
he
Zionist.
truly is a Zionist.
Oh,
Yes,
for sure. Yeah. And so is Dana Bash. Like, they believe this shit. They probably still think that there was mass rape on October 7th. Like, they believe it. They want you to condemn Hamas. And like, what everybody should say before anybody in Congress, anybody from Israel, anybody, like, do you condemn Israel? Like, why? Like, nobody ever says that. Do Palestinians have a right to exist? Do Lebanese have a right to exist? How about Yemenis or Syrians or Iranians? Or is Israel the only people that have a right to exist? Is that it? Like, they're the only ones who have a right to exist?
I think we've proven they are the chosen.
They've been around for not even 100 years. Zionists for what, 150? Like, that is not Judaism. Like, it is not. And the fact that it's just co-opted the whole religion and everything is all about Israel. It's not about American Jews. It's not about, like, it's not my Judaism. I've never even been to Israel. Like, it has nothing to do with me. They would ban me.
Look, I don't like religions at all. We talk about this occasionally.
Yeah.
But it's like if you looked at Christianity, you're like, well, MAGA is Christian, like, so Trump is a Christian leader. So now I'm going to judge Christianity based on Trump. Somehow.
Yeah. Or the KKK or Pete Hegseth.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So listen, this was sort of interesting, and I don't know if this is going to get us taken off, but so Julian Casablancas, who's the lead singer of the Strokes, who had a great set at Coachella, which definitely would get our screen blacked out because Coachella owns we tried last year and we got, they blacked out our show. Now, this isn't his fault, but his father is John Casablancas, who's the head of the model agency, who is an Epstein guy, right? So, like, again, that's not his fault. He seems to be on the correct side of all the stuff. But anyway, this was a part of his interview on Subway Takes just a couple days ago. This is his hot take.
You want the most controversial one? I know you do.
Yeah, give it to me.
Well, it's been nice having a career with you.
Same. Let's go down with the ship, Captain.
American Zionists get the benefits of, white privileged people, but talk like they are black people during slavery.
100% agree. I've never seen something so shocking where they're like, I'm so
oppressed.
I'm an oppressed person. I'm like, You are going to a wedding in Tel Aviv right now when there are 80,000 dead people, and more, 80,000 plus dead people, including women and children, half a mile away. Absolutely fucked and totally, you know what? I don't think it's bad to say that.
I mean, just for the people that are going to be like, Hamas, October 7th, yes, bad, but, you know, Native American rebellions didn't mean it was, you know, okay to do what we did. Slave rebellions that were violent didn't mean that, you know, slavery is not bad. You know what I mean? So that's the scope of that answer, just to be for the...
That's pretty audacious for, like, I mean, I agree 100%, but like, I love that. And also, yes, I'm seeing some of you guys, like, I am so tired of, why are we stuck at
80,000? Come on.
Like, they're going to say tens of thousands of people were killed by Iranian officials or the Iranian regime in January protests, but we've seen 2,000-ton bombs day after day just decimating, obliterating Gaza, and we're still going to stick to the 70 or 80,000 number. Like, that's absurd. But anyway, I thought that's pretty.
I love it.
Great.
I mean, obviously for his answer, but obviously another level is that this guy has a popular show based on popular views that blew up like maybe 2 years ago.
Subway Takes guy, yeah.
Yeah, and he's leaning into this extreme position in front of his audience, like, yes, this is, I'm not saying he's motivated entirely by, you know, views, but like the pox you could put on him isn't strong enough to hurt him from saying that, to stop him from, you know, he could have chosen after the fact not to air it. It's not like it's a live show.
Yeah, totally.
You know, so yeah, the times haven't changed, but the public is so clearly there, and people that lean into the propaganda side of it and support Israel, your stock is down. People don't believe you. Everything you say after that falls apart. So to run as Democrats on any of those issues when everyone else has fucking left you.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they're trying to get away with something. And I have to say, you know, so just to go back to the Adam Johnson part of it, calling out Ro Khanna, I really appreciate, because Ro Khanna has been pretty good on calling this a genocide and saying we have to stop the weapons. But like, it's a little too crafty to not address the fact that the J Street plan that he's endorsing would also still funnel money to Israel. And the only way to deal with this is to deal with it the way we dealt with South Africa in apartheid, right? That's it. And so
I have such love-hate for Ro Khanna.
I know. Like,
it's every day it's like, it's a love-hate I had for Bernie. I don't hate Bernie on any level, but like Ro Khanna at the end of the day is a tech bro. Like, I can't get that out of my head with him. And you know, he sunk Bernie's main message back in 2016.
Yeah, I mean,
about Medicare for all or bust. He was like, "Oh, we can go for Liz's plan." And he was his main spokesperson on TV.
Yep, and so did AOC. She did the same thing. They both stepped all over the message. You know, I think Ro Khanna has definitely been better and more forceful and more of a leader in all of this, and the Epstein stuff, like more than
he
AOC,
has,
but like he should apologize for that. He should apologize for fucking that up. And also, I think his wife, like, you know, he doesn't invest anymore, but his wife does, and it's a lot of weapons industry stuff. Like, there has to be
taking that.
Yeah, like, yeah. H299, thank you for your super sticker. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's
the thing about Ro is like, look, he will take questions from anyone. We you know, I'm not saying we could get him on our podcast, but he might come on. You know, he's actually like very open to discussions about the stuff, which I appreciate. but at the same time, he's like, he walks this line between being in the group and out of the group, but he never gets kicked out of the group for some reason. So why isn't Roe kicked out of the group with the Democratic Party? You know, I always question a lot of that.
Yeah. I mean, I do too.
And when it's a rich guy, it matters. If he was poor and held these positions, it'd be different. But he's like he's made the most off of stock moves in politics.
Wait, I sorry, and you might be totally right, but you know I'm like a nerd about this stuff, so I don't want to say it out loud unless I have the actual documentation. Is that really true?
Well, okay, I don't know, but somebody fact check me. He's made. No, but he's one of the people that has benefited the most from stock.
He certainly, yeah.
While in, like, I don't know, connect the dots wherever you want. But I don't want any trading of stocks.
Yes.
For you or your wife or your family or your whatever. Like,
I agree 100%. You know,
because otherwise you can just come on TV and say everything that we want all day, every day, and still get rich in the background. So none of it matters what he says to us if he's still getting rich off of everything that stays in place.
Yeah, and I really resent this sort of crafty, cute, like, oh, block the bombs, that seems like it's not honest about what's really happening. You know, I think that's worrisome and it's dishonest if it is. And I will say that Adam Johnson, I just realized, because I mean, you know, but like, this is the Citations Pod shirt. I love them. They're so good. It's all about like media and how they shape perceptions and all of that. But Adam Johnson keeps trying to call him out publicly on Twitter, responding to his, you know, appearances where he talks about the block the bombs and all that kind of stuff. And the response isn't satisfying. It's never actually addressing what Adam Johnson is calling him out on. Right. So that's, that is telling. That's telling. Wait, Saul says he was number three. All right. So you're close. A little fake news, Pat, but close. Close.
No, keep looking. You'll find him at the top of some category. It might be specific to tech stock profits or something, but like,
all right. Well, here's the
made additional... most in the market.
I don't know. We're gonna have to look.
But either way, like you're basically he was Bernie's top guy, right? So Bernie's top messaging guy, and still is thriving off of his Bernie connections, you know, and sort of, you know, the Bernie movement sort of looks to him a little still. And he's rich as fuck, getting richer as fuck every day off of it.
Wait, you cut out for me. He's getting rich as fuck off of his investments. Is that what you said? Or his wife's investments?
Well, off everything. You know, whether it's his wife's.
Yeah. Listen, I have no problem with somebody being a class trader. I don't like the way he's made his money.
But you're not a class trader if you're still making the money.
Well, that's
you're not even you're not a trader yet. Be a trader. Like say, pull your family's
totally
investments.
Why do you still have it in there? Yeah.
Don't make that excuse anymore, or I can't believe you. And that's where
I agree totally. Pat, once again, you were right. You were right.
I was.
All right. Are we heading into like what should we do right now? I mean, obviously, this was supposed to be the deadline for the ceasefire, and yet it's not. And there's nothing like the thing that people keep talking about, which is like the Strait of Hormuz, which is obviously that is the power that Iran has, right? They don't even need nuclear weapons because they have the Strait of Hormuz. But what that really means is even if Trump walks away, which he should just basically, actually, he should not do that. if I were advising Trump, I would say tame your bulldog genocidal Nazi Israel. Take everything away from them. They get not in a tweet. They get nothing else, and they cannot bomb or do anything to Gaza or Lebanon or Iran. And then we can talk, because everything that people are talking about, like the Strait of Hormuz and Lebanon, what they never focus on is the initial source problem, which is the fact that Israel is a genocidal apartheid state that is hell-bent on ethnically cleansing not only Palestinians, also Lebanese, everybody. Like that greater Israel project is what they want. They talk about it openly. They compare themselves to Nazis. We've had IDF soldiers who are coming out saying, I felt like a Nazi. We've had people in government say we need to behave like the Nazis and do our second Nakba. We know what they want, and they're not even going to just stop. Like all the accusations that were thrown at Russia, which were bullshit about like they wanted to take over Europe. No, it's Israel wants to take over that whole area, and what they don't take over, they want to force into total civil war chaos. That's the problem.
Absolutely. The real solution would be to say, in Trump's way out, but he can't because of Israel, of course. But the real solution would be say, we were here for the nuclear part of it, so we're gonna make a deal with Iran to stop all production, blah blah blah, monitor it, whatever you need to put in place. But we want to bring them into the modernization, pull the whole bullshit about modernization period by giving them control of the strait financially. If they ever usurp their duties and their capitalist interests that we all share as a world, the whole world will come against them for that. But this will help bring them into the modern, that's how I would spin it. But Israel, of course, will never tolerate
they never will.
That. That's the whole thing.
But just like Russia, right after 9/11, Iran and Iranians came out like by the tens of thousands to do a vigil for American citizens who were killed. Like they wanted to be part of the Western American project, just like Russia. But like our military industrial complex could not survive if we didn't create these enemies. And at this point, I think it's all, I think NATO's over. NATO's done, obviously. Good. But how long are we because what's happened now with what Trump has done with this war, the repercussions of this will be years long. And I mean, millions of people are going to die because of it.
I mean, you've just created another thing where Israel can pull us in easily over the strait stuff, which will be their only power, which will be the strait.
Yep.
And their only response to Israel's aggression will always be the strait now.
Yep.
Right. Because they'll make some agreement about nuclear.
Yep.
That's inevitable.
Yep.
So we go back to the new normal, which is the same as it was, but Israel bombing the shit out of them regularly all the time. We're always on the verge of nuclear war or whatever.
With the endorsement of corporate media, what was it? Was it the Atlantic or the Washington Post that talked about like, oh no, it was Axios talking about like the other option is just like an occasional mowing the lawn. Like the way so cavalierly, like so blithely, they just talk about what Israel's been doing to Palestinians for decades of just like every once in a while, we'll just like kill several hundred to several thousand people just to like, we'll monitor their diets. We'll only allow so much food in, and then we'll just kill several hundred, several thousand just to keep them in line. That is what's being proposed.
I truly think that's where this ends up. even though it's not in Iran's best interest to necessarily agree with that, but they will agree with it. Israel will do the mowing lawn, provoke something again. We're always going to be on the edge. Like it's the same as it was, but worse. That's where we're at with it.
Nice. Winning. You tired of winning?
Winning.
Yet? Are you tired? VDA, thank you for your super sticker. Fuck Trump. Fuck them all. Thank you. Wait, I missed one. Sorry. No, we got, okay. Oh, no, sorry. Only rally of world was BLM. I am not entirely sure. I mean, I agree. Like that was an amazing movement. It was the biggest mass movement in US history, and the Democrats squashed it.
No one killed a movement harder than the Democrats, which
like the NBA. Can you imagine? The NBA was going to go on strike, and Obama came out of his money cave from skydiving with billionaire pederast, what's his name, Branson, to crush that. Oh my!
Did he die or something? We haven't heard his name in a while.
Who? Branson?
Branson?
Oh, he went silent because he was just exposed. I mean, just exposed in the Epstein files.
But yeah, okay. I was like, because he was like front and center for a long time there, but yeah.
He was one of the good billionaires.
Yep.
One of the good ones.
Tom Steyer, vote Tom Steyer.
Jeez. Yeah. Okay. This. Do we have
whatever?
Okay. So just because sort of interesting. Not all that revelatory, but there was just a big piece in the New Yorker, Isaac Chotiner, who does he often gets people to reveal parts of themselves that they probably never thought they would. In this one, he is talking to an Israeli polling expert, Dalia Scheindlin, who basically talks about how Israelis are, even though they know that the Iran war isn't going well, even though they spent 6 weeks of, having to go down in bunkers and bomb shelters, all of that, they are disappointed that the ceasefire is happening on any level, even though, if you are in Iran or Lebanon or the West Bank or Gaza, you are not feeling the ceasefire. But it was just interesting that even she was sort of surprised by the mania of her fellow, citizens in Israel, and how there is no longer a belief in diplomacy, which I feel like, I think citizens in the US actually do have a belief in diplomacy. Like we have not been so propagandized that as a country, I actually think our citizens are becoming better and better informed and are rejecting the horrors that our various administrations are, perpetrating against us and the world.
I agree. And I think it's because we've been so propagandized that it all broke through severely in the last 5-6 years. I mean, it's really turned, we like if things are okay, you don't need to pay attention so much.
Right.
But we're in like peak capitalism and peak suffering amongst like the middle class and, sub poverty level. So like people are tuned in here and we're supporting some evil shit. So that makes you want to tune in, so
it's such a strange choice. And it's like a pathological greed that they couldn't even keep us fat and happy. Because truly, like, the US has been involved in all these sorts of genocidal colonial endeavors, for at least 100 some odd years, if not more. The whole founding of our nation is on that, and what we did to Native Americans. But like, there have been periods of time, especially after World War II, where they figured out a way to allow capitalists to keep on being better off than everybody else, or the capitalist class, but like allowed a middle class to grow, of course it was mostly white, I mean, whatever, not whatever. It's horrible. I'm not excusing any of it, but like the idea that they just decided you guys get nothing. You don't even get a living wage. You're going to work more than you've ever worked. Productivity is going to be through the roof, but you will not be able to afford anything. You will be a rental class for the rest of your lives if you're lucky. And if not, you will be impoverished. You will be homeless. We will criminalize you. We'll put you in these prisons and force you to work for free.
Yeah, I think it's just unique in the way that our politics work more than anything, in that our welfare as middle class or whatever citizens, like the elections matter more than anything. So win election. Like it's different in our country than some other countries as far as the influence of the money to that, so that the money they take shields them from all the impacts on society in a different way than other countries, I think. And the fact that so much money can go to a politician, unlike other countries, like you can just fucking drop truckloads of cash off in our country to a politician.
Yep.
That's the unique part. I don't think it's even necessarily capitalism, but we just gotten here. I'm not saying we stick with capitalism, but like we just let it rip through in the last 10 years, like crazy fast in the last 10 years.
Yeah. I mean,
since
Citizens,
really
what was that? 20.
But that was inevitable.
Yeah.
You're going to, if you put capitalism into an AI model and give it fucking 100 versions, 99 of them come out with Citizens United and where we're at today,
Yep.
Like it's capitalism, but also.
Yeah. I mean, to me, yes, it is capitalism. So like even liberal capitalism at some point is going to lead here.
You end up
right?
here. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But I agree. I mean, it does feel just like unbridled. There's just, because they will never be able to spend the amount they are stealing from us. They just won't. Like, so it's not even, it makes no sense. Like to have to walk around knowing everybody hates you, but you can like rent out or buy a fucking rocket to burst through the stratosphere and come back. And like, I mean, even just seeing
you only need like 10 good friends. And if you're in a social circle with like 100 good friends that kiss your ass because you're all the same evil fucks, like these people don't care.
That's really, all right. All right. We can get to the other stuff tomorrow. Although, like, this fucking influencer who's talking about Hamas is ISIS, and she just says it out loud. She's some like ex-Israeli spook, and she's bragging that she came up with the Hamas is ISIS. Hamas is not, like, Israel actually created ISIS. Let's face it, we all know. But like, they just lie. Like, they need to propagate. Like, they know that all of their millions of dollars, I mean, at this billions of dollars that they spent on buying politicians, on buying, what was the Robert Maxwell, who was the head of all the children's textbooks, K-12. What was the textbook thing called? Now I can't even remember, but we talked about it, I mean, probably a year ago. But anyway, like, we know how much money and time and effort they have put into the Hezbollah, and the lies that they've sown, the depiction of anybody from the Middle East as being a heathen, barbaric, rapist, human shield, all that shit. And it didn't work. Like,
it didn't work, and they're still funding it all, and it's still in our face every bit as much as it was. And so anyone tying themselves to that is just tying themselves to fucking anti-us.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I totally agree. Thank you, Justin. And I'm glad you got off work just in time. Yeah. All right. Boy.
We have tomorrow's show.
Yeah, we'll have stuff to cover. All right. It's Earth Day, everybody. Do you feel it? McGraw-Hill, thank you. Yeah, David, thank you. And Justin, is that also what you wrote? I think it is. Sorry,
it was the long.
Yeah, it was McGraw-Hill, but they might all be moved together. McGraw-Hill. Okay. All right. You guys are awesome. I am so grateful for this community because I do feel like I'm losing my mind so much of the time. So we really appreciate you all hanging out with us a few times a week. Thank you. And hi, Lucky. Keep punching up.
Yeah, we will see you tomorrow for the So Happy it's Thursday, which might spill out shit. I don't know. This is a climate activist arrested. There was a lot of protests around the country for Earth Day, but this one was at Trump Towers, and we wanted to highlight her. So,
cheers, everybody.
Because I'm fighting against fucking genocide, ecocide, people being deported because we have a terrorist in the office. Our politicians and the billionaires are corrupt. They're greedy, they're corrupt, they don't care about humanity. Free Palestine, fuck Israel, and free the planet. They're destroying the planet! They're poisoning the water! From the copper mines in Arizona, to our water supply, to the earth, to the air we breathe. From genocide and bombing and wars, it pollutes the water.
Who's a terrorist? Trump's a terrorist.